Hey everyone, and welcome to my video where we're going to be going over file pathing. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's two types of file paths that you can have in your HTML. One is an absolute file path, and then another one is a relative file path. And I've kind of already demonstrated this in a previous video, but I'm going to be going into this in a little more in depth in this video. So as an example, what I'm going to show is an image. So let me show you guys our current file structure here. So we have our index.html, which is what we're looking at right here. And then inside of this folder, there's an images folder, right, with a smiley face .jpg. So if I wanted to reference this image from our HTML page, we would have to say this image is located in the images folder, and the image is called smileyface.jpg. So for example, I'm going to add the image tag here with source of images because we're specifying the folder right here. And then smiley face.jpg. And then close the bracket. Now let's go over here and we refresh. And you can see that the image is appearing here correctly. Now let's say that the image, we wanted it, let's save that right there, and we refresh. You can see that no image loads. So what this is saying right here is that we're trying to load an image in the same folder as this index.html. But since it doesn't exist in here, it's not loading it. So in order to get it to show, let's just copy this image and paste it here. Now let's refresh. And you can see that it's loading it from the current folder of index.html. Now, the next one is also a relative path. So the last two that I've showed you guys is a relative path. Now this next one is also a relative path. So here you can see that I have a whole bunch of folders, right? So this image is located in a whole bunch of folders all the way to index.html, and then this image is relative to this index.html. Now, there's a way to make it so that if you have an image or a file in the very root of your website, you can skip all of this as if it was never there, right? So the way that you do that is, well, for example, let's just right click this real quick and just see where this image is at. So you can see here that this image is right here, right? It's in my folder with the index.html. Now, let's say I put a slash here and I save. So what this is going to say is instead of being in file and then showing all these folders and then smiley.jpg, let's refresh. It doesn't exist, right? But that's okay. I'm just trying to show you guys. It's saying that it's looking for the image in file and then smiley.jpg. So it's looking for it at the very beginning of my website, which is called the root of your website. And so here you can see that it's skipping all of this, right? It's skipping all of this, and it's looking for it directly in, smiley face.jpg. And then it's ignoring everything over here, and it's just looking at this right here. So that's how you make it look for a file in the root. Now let's change up our folder structure here real quick. Let's load that up. Okay, so let's now create a folder here and call it website 1. I don't know. And let's throw our index.html in there. Let's refresh this. Can't access it because it's no longer there. So let's just go to website 1. Okay. So now our index.html is here. Now let's say that you don't want to skip over all of these, folders within your website. Let's say that you only want to go up one level. So what you want to do to find that image or file is you want to go up one folder, and then you want to find the image within that parent folder. Or if you had an image in here in another folder, you could go there. So for example, right now we're here. So we want to go up one folder. So in order to go up one folder, we represent this with 2 periods, ... And then from here we can do something like smiley. Actually, 1 second, because this is the old index.html. We want to open it up in the new path. Okay. So now what we want to do is now we're in this page, right? Or this folder, website 1. So we want to go up 1, and as I said, we represent that with a ... and then slash. So now we're here. Now we want to say smiley face.jpg, and then save, and then you can see that this is loaded. Now another thing that you can do is, let's say that you had, that you didn't have the smiley face here, so let's delete it, but you wanted to get the image or the file from another folder. So we go up 1 level, and then we go into images, and then you want to grab this image. So let's do that here. So we go up 1 level, so our ... here, and then we want to go into the images folder. So now we do images, and then we want to select our smiley face. Save that, refresh, and you can see that it still loads. So that is an example of how to access an image with a relative path through different folder structures. Now for our next example is going to be something that's called absolute file path. So all of this is relative to our website. So all of these that I've been showing you guys have been relative paths. Now there's another file path type that's called absolute, and that is a direct link to the image or the file that you're trying to show or to display or use. So for example, an absolute file path for this image right now is this whole address, right? So in order to get that, the absolute path is this. So we'll just, copy this, paste it here, and then we want to say that it's in images, and then smiley face.jpg. And then refresh and load, and you can see that we are still loading this image because we're specifying the absolute path to this image. So this is something like, if my website was something like astonepissa.com, and I wanted to represent an image from Google or whatever, right? I would have to put in for the source as www.google.com, and then image from google.jpg. And this would be an absolute URL, since I'm specifying the domain name here. Now, I could also specify an absolute image from my own website. If it was like astonepissa.com, I could specify an image directly from my website. But it's better to use relative paths, since that's just best practice to do. And these types of pathing can be applied to any file, not just images. I just showed images as an example because it's easiest and it's visual, but you can apply this to like style sheets, JavaScript files, or any other file that you may have. So I hope this video helped. If you have any questions or comments, just feel free to post it, and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe. All right, everyone, have a good rest of your day. Thanks.